Hi, everyone. Welcome to our 15th family meeting. For those of you who tuned in live the other night, thank you so much for tuning in. And for those of you who are watching this on video, thank you for tuning in as well. We have a packed agenda because this is our last meeting before school reopens. We're going to discuss some UAG specific things like our first day schedule and our first week schedule, as well as some of the special precautions we'll be taking. And then we'll talk about COVID vaccination and COVID testing, as well as the health screening. I know a lot of you have had issues logging into all those portals, and do not worry, we have fixed that. And so we'll share that information today. First day plan. First day of school is Monday, September 13th. We are asking you to get there at 8 a.m. We're going to line up in the yard. So every single school at the graphics campus is going to enter through a separate entrance. Our entrance is going to be through the schoolyard. So as you're walking up 49th, going from 9th to 10th Avenue, you will see an entrance into the schoolyard. You're going to enter through that door. You'll see Ms. Doris, our AP, pointing to it. And you'll see 4 lines, one line for each grade. And so you'll find your grade and line up. During that time, please keep your face mask on, keep social distance from other students, and complete your health screening. So the health screening is a series of questions that you will have to answer every single day before you enter the building. No one will be allowed into the building without a health screening that they have passed. So this is completed on your phone. So on your phone, you're going to go to healthscreening.schools.nyc, and you're going to log into your DOE email, so your nycstudents.net account. Not your New York City schools account, but the email account. And so every single day in the morning, you're going to have to fill this screening out. It looks a little bit like this. When you first go to the webpage, there's going to be a place for you to sign in. It's the button that says DOE employees and students. You'll enter your username and your password, and then you'll answer a few questions. And as long as you pass the health screening, you'll get a green check. That green check is what you have to screenshot and save and show when you enter. And so this you're going to do every single day when you walk into the building. Now, what ended up happening the past week is crazy. I received 500,000 emails, and Ms. Diaz received another 500,000 emails that said, I do not have my password. I cannot log in. Ms. Diaz helped me. Ms. D helped me. Ms. Diaz got so many emails that she was about to change her title from parent coordinator to password coordinator. And so we were struggling to figure out what to do. And so our solution was we reset everybody's password. Everybody's password is now UA Gateway 123 with the U, A, and G capitalized. Now, some of you don't know your actual email, your actual username. And so don't worry, we figured that out as well. There's a link right here, and I'm going to have this in the info below the video. When you click on that link, you will see a New York City DOE email lookup. All you have to do is right here, enter your email. I'll make this box yellow so you know. Enter your student ID right here. You're going to enter your student ID right here. And after you enter your student ID number, which is the same thing as your OSIS number, your New York City DOE email will pop up. It's the nycstudents.net account. And so everything before the @nycstudents.net is your username. And so when you log into your health screening, all you have to do is put in that username and the password, which for everyone is UA Gateway 123. You can change your password after you log in, so don't worry. You will have an opportunity to change that. So in terms of COVID vaccination, have COVID vaccines been mandated for students? No, they have not. As of right now. However, I do want to say that the precedent is already there. As I've said several times before, there are a lot of immunizations that are required for you to be a New York City public school student. And so it's not that difficult for the Department of Education to just add the COVID vaccine as one of the mandatory vaccinations. The LA School District just did that very same thing. And so it's very likely our school district will be next. Many of you have asked, has all of UAG staff been vaccinated? So as of right now, no, they have not, but all UAG staff does have to have their first shot by September 27th. That means not just actually UAG staff, but any staff in the building, including school safety, including custodial staff, including school foods employees. Every single member of the community at Graphics campus has to be vaccinated by September 27th. If they are not, they will no longer be allowed to be in the building. If you have not gotten vaccinated, I do want to let you know we are a pop-up vaccination site. So on September 13th, 14th, 15th, and 17th, from 12 to 5 p.m., there will be a pop-up site in the auditorium at our school to administer Pfizer vaccines. So if you're under 18 and you want to get a vaccine, just make sure that you complete the consent form, have your parents complete that before you come. And I'll put the link in the info below as well. Several of you have asked what is going to happen with the COVID testing. Last year, we had COVID testing in our building every single week. So COVID testing will still take place. However, it will be every 2 weeks. And it is only for students who are unvaccinated or have not given proof of vaccination. So the assumption is if you did not upload your proof of vaccination, that means you're unvaccinated. So if you need to upload your vaccination card, please do so. You would go to the vaccination portal, which is vaccine.schools.nyc. I'll put that link in the bottom as well. And again, you're going to log in with that New York City schools email, right? The DOE email, which is the nycstudents.net email. And your password is UA Gateway 123 with UAG capitalized. When you log in, it'll look something like this. So first, when you go to the website, it'll say COVID-19 vaccination portal. You're going to click sign in, and you'll see right here, there's a warning that it should be your DOE student account, that email, not the NYC school account. You will log in with your username, which is, again, everything before that at nycstudents.net, and you'll put your password, which right now for everyone is UA Gateway 123 with the UAG capitalized. That includes 9th graders. That includes if you were able to log into it before. We reset everybody's password. So once you log in and you upload your vaccination card, you will get an updated vaccine status. You can see mine right here. It'll tell you you're fully vaccinated, what vaccine you got, and as of what date you are fully vaccinated. So we are excited to have you back on the 7th floor. And because of that, we made some exciting changes. You will see some brand new doors, some vinyl, some decals, brand new lockers, enough lockers for each and every student, and you don't have to share. And one of the other things that we'll be doing that's exciting is running a special schedule that first week. So the first week of school, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be running an abridged schedule from 8 to 1:30. I cannot tell you what is going to be happening. It's a secret, but I promise it will be fun. Students will receive Metro cards during these 3 days. So I unfortunately cannot promise that everyone will get a Metro card on the first day of school. And that is because the Department of Education did not send us enough Metro cards. We're about 150 Metro cards short. We've notified them for weeks now, and we hope that they will get them to us in a timely manner, but there is a chance you might not get it on that first day. And so my plan is to give every student a letter that states that you are a New York City public school student and you should be allowed on the train or bus for free during this duration of time until you receive your Metro card. But again, I'm hoping that we can get those Metro cards in time. Your class schedules, you might get them Wednesday during the day. If anything, you'll get them online on Jupiter. They'll be uploaded there as well, and you can just print it out yourself or get a printed copy from us. So then that Thursday, the 16th, there is no school because of Yom Kippur. And then on Friday, the 17th, you'll be back in the building, and we'll be running pretty much our regular schedule, just without gold. So 8:15 to 2:40. That'll be our first official day of going through your class schedule. And again, as a reminder, no gold on that day. Gold will begin that following Monday on September 20th. And so that's what this schedule will show you. This is what our schedule looks like when there is gold. And that Friday, when there's no gold, you would just be released after your last period, which ends 2:39, 2:40. The weekly schedule, you will get used to it. I promise. I like to show this to everyone just so they can look at it and it's not the first time they're seeing it, and they don't freak out, but you will get used to it. I promise you it'll take about a week. For those of you who've seen this schedule before, it's just like riding a bike, except I don't know how to ride a bike. So I don't know what that really means, but people say that all the time. All right, special adjustments and precautions. So although we're going back to school, we do have to make some adjustments. The first adjustment that we have to make is around lunch. Many of you have been asking, how will lunch work? How are we going to get everyone into the cafeteria? Well, the good thing is our cafeteria is huge. The bad thing is we only have 42 round tables. And so as a result, we're not going to be able to fit everyone in the cafeteria at the same time. We're allowing 6 students to sit at a table to maintain social distancing. 42 times 6 is 252. And so the maximum number of students that will be in the cafeteria will be 252. You're probably wondering, what about the rest of the kids? What's going to happen to the other 230 students at Gateway? Well, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a rotation. So half of the students will be in the cafeteria and half of the students will be in the yard. And then after 20 minutes, we will switch. And so we will see how that works out. It might be a great solution, it might not, but that's our plan for right now. Additionally, we are going to allow juniors and seniors out to lunch. Unfortunately, I'm not allowing freshmen and sophomores out, even if your parents give you permission. The reality is I don't know you that well yet. And so because I don't know you that well, I can't trust you that much yet. A big part of leaving the school building and going out into the community is for you to represent the UAG way. Something important to know is I live in this neighborhood. I live in this community. And so I know all the restaurants, I know all the fast food places. And when I go to Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A or any of the restaurants around here, they know who my kids are. And they tell me if anything happens. And it's really important to me that anyone who's out in the community representing Gateway represents it the right way. And so juniors and seniors, I absolutely trust you. Actually, usually I only trust seniors, but this year, the juniors, you guys are awesome. I love you a lot and I trust you a lot. And so it is a big deal that you're being allowed out for lunch. This is the first time in UAG history that the entire junior class is being allowed out for lunch from the very beginning. So in order to be allowed out for lunch, you will have to bring a permission slip signed from your parents. And you do have to know there are a couple of rules when it comes to going out for lunch. You're not going to be allowed to go out to lunch and then come back, right? You can't just go out, grab food and come back. If you leave for lunch, you have to stay outside. And so you'll be able to leave for lunch in the first 5-10 minutes. If you try to come down at the end of the period, it's too late. You won't be allowed out. And you will only be allowed back at 11:25. And so you have to be back by 11:25. If you are late and you're late to your next period class, that's a problem. Something to keep in mind is all the restaurants around us require vaccinations to dine in. And so that's also very important because if you're not vaccinated and you go and grab food, you have to think about where am I going to eat this food because we're not allowing students back into the building until the end of the period. I also want to remind everyone that this is a privilege. I am trusting you. This is a privilege. It is not a permanent right that you have to go out to lunch. Students are expected, as I mentioned, to maintain the UAG way when you're out and about, when you're inside the school building and when you're outside the school building. When you're at home, when you are online, you are representing Gateway. And so if you're not representing Gateway in the right way, the first time you get a warning, after that, your out to lunch privilege will be revoked. In terms of closure regulations, several of you have been confused a little bit about what the quarantining rules are. And so I just want to go over these again. These are brand new and updated from last year. So of course, if you test positive, God forbid, you will be quarantining. That's mandatory. Now, in terms of close contacts, if you're in close contact with somebody who tested positive, if you are vaccinated and do not show any symptoms, you do not quarantine. You continue to come to school. If you're vaccinated and show symptoms, then you will be directed to quarantine for 10 calendar days. If you are unvaccinated and have been deemed a close contact to someone who tested positive, then you will be directed to quarantine for 10 calendar days as well. If you're quarantining, you will continue your learning remotely. I will explain what that means shortly. In order to return to the building, you can take a test to make sure that you test negative. And so if you test negative, you can return to school after day 7. So it'll end your quarantine a little early. In terms of a school-wide closure, so right now there's no number to determine a school-wide closure. Last year there was a number. First, I think it was like 3 cases or 2 cases. And then there was a percentage. Right now, there's no threshold. And so the only scenario in which a school will be closed for in-person learning is if the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene determines there's a widespread transmission in the school. My assumption is we will not be closing school-wide at all this year. And so just something to think about. What's instruction going to look like? So as a reminder, there's no remote learning option this year. And several of you have said, well, I can't come back to in-person learning because of XYZ. So these are the 3 options that you have. The first option is homeschooling. Homeschooling means that your parents or guardians have to apply first, and they have to submit curriculum as well as their plan for instruction. Your parent or guardian will have to provide the instruction for you. So either they will have to teach you themselves, or they would have to hire someone to teach you. This is something separate from home instruction. So homeschooling is saying that I am going to provide instruction to my child myself. Now, home instruction is a little different. Home instruction means that the Department of Education will send teachers to your home to provide instruction. That is another option, and this is a brand new option. This option is only available for students with medical conditions. So the medical conditions that are approved automatically for home instruction are listed here. Any other conditions would have to go through an approval process to determine eligibility. So in order to apply for that, go to homeinstructionschools.com. And the last option, if you cannot return to in-person learning, is to transfer. There are some charter schools and private schools that are offering remote learning. You can transfer out. However, I just want to remind you, there's no New York City public school that has remote learning. So if you're transferring out because you're looking for remote learning, your only options are charter schools or private schools. Some students have transferred to schools outside of New York State or New York City that are offering remote options as well. I unfortunately don't know of too many, but you can search online and see what you find. So how are we going to provide remote learning for students who are on quarantine if there's no remote learning option? So there is no Zoom for you to log into, and there's no videos of classes for you to watch. What remote learning will look like for the students who are quarantining is a little bit different. So this is the plan that we've come up with. So work will be posted for the student on Google Classroom. Now, I want to remind you, this is not for all students. This is just for students who are quarantining at home. And so that means that you tested positive for COVID. You have to quarantine because you're a close contact to someone who tested positive, or you're staying at home because you might have COVID because you have symptoms. So again, your teacher will post work for you, just for you, not for the whole class. And then each teacher will have 1 hour of time a week to meet with the students who are quarantining or at home due to being sick from COVID. Each day of the week is going to be designated a specific subject. And the reason we're doing that is if all teachers decide that they're doing their 1 hour of help on Monday from 3:10 to 4:10, there's no way that you'd be able to get help from all of your teachers. And so we're going to pick a day of the week for teachers to be able to provide this 1 hour of help. Once you return to the building, you will be required to attend Gold until you catch up with the work and the learning that you missed. And again, reminder, this is just for students who are quarantining, have symptoms, or test positive. This is not for all students who are absent from school. I want to talk about some other safety precautions that we have in place. So students and staff are going to continue to complete the health screening like they did last year. Masks are going to be required. And as a reminder, it's face masks. It's not gaiters. It's not ski masks. You can't even wear masks with vents. It is not shields, face shields. It is not bandanas. It is not scarves. It has to be a face mask, a cloth or disposable face mask. We have hand sanitizer stations throughout the building, and the custodial staff is going to continue to disinfect throughout the day and clean at the end of the day and disinfect at the end of the day. We're going to maintain 3 feet social distancing when possible. So what does that when possible mean? So our space is set up for 3 feet social distancing. The classrooms are big enough. The hallways are almost big enough. And so the part that we need support with is you maintaining the 3 feet, right? We can set up the space for 3 feet and it can be large enough for 3 feet. But if you congregate and get too close to someone, then we're not going to be able to stay 3 feet apart. And so we're going to ask for your support. Keep your distance from people. 3 feet is not that much. So it's not like you have to shout across the room to talk to someone who's 3 feet away from you. And so just keep moving in the halls, stay to your right. The good thing is we are going to be in the halls only for a minute or two. And so places that you are in for less than 10 minutes, the 3 feet apart is not required. We're still asking you to try and maintain it, but places like hallways, staircases, elevators, just keep your distance. But again, you'll only be in there for a few moments. The visitor policy, this is brand new as of Monday. So this starts this Monday, September 13th, the first day of school. Any visitor that is coming into a DOE building is required to be vaccinated. So who does this include? Visitors means parents, vendors, anyone doing deliveries, any after school providers, any friends who are coming to visit, any mentors that you are working with, any guest speakers that we will have. So any single person who's coming into the building who's not a DOE student must provide proof of vaccination. So this means that parent meetings will likely have to happen online if you're not vaccinated. IEP meetings might happen online if you're not vaccinated. And on this side right here, you will see a list of acceptable proof of vaccination. So it could be your card, it can be a vaccination record. You can upload it to the DOE portal as a guest. It could be that app that they have for COVID Safe or the Excelsior Pass. So whatever way you show it, you must show that you are vaccinated starting September 13th as a visitor into the building. Extracurricular activities are still going to be taking place, but as I mentioned, there will be some adjustments. So if the after-school activity was provided by an outside organization, if they're not vaccinated, then that after-school activity cannot continue. College trips still going to happen. However, we do have to follow the rules of the school. And so some schools and universities are requiring vaccinations. And so if you're going on a college trip and you're not vaccinated and that college requires it, you won't be able to go. PSAL is back 100%. But as I mentioned at the last meeting, that any of the high-risk PSAL sports, you will be required to be vaccinated for. And so things like football, wrestling, lacrosse, and some indoor ones as well, like volleyball and basketball. Even bowling, because it takes place in a bowling alley, you are required to be vaccinated. Clubs will still happen, but clubs like sports clubs will require vaccinations as well. So if there's a basketball club, anyone who participates in that basketball club has to be vaccinated. Last year, or 2 years ago, our basketball intramurals was very, very popular. Everyone would come after school to play. If you want to participate in those intramurals, now you have to be vaccinated. Gym will have to look a little different, and the sports that we play in gym are going to change as well. Our internships, mentorships, and apprenticeships will continue. However, it will depend on which mentorship or internship or apprenticeship you have. Some of the facilities that you're working at require vaccinations. Some of them are not back in person. And so some of your internships might continue online. We are going to continue our traditions at UAG. We're going to have all of the traditions we always have, like the Amazing Race and the Skate Away and the Fright Fest and the Holligate, because all of those are outdoors. Some of our traditions, while they will continue, they will have to change. Things like Thank core values, the Gateway. And of course, as I mentioned, trips will have to have some adjustments as well, especially the international trip. We don't know if that will happen, but that is to be determined. And before I close out, I just want to give a quick plug. Parent Association, we are going to be running an election for co-president, co-treasurer, and co-secretary. Please, if you're interested in being a part of the Parents Association, send me an email, d@uagateway.org, or send our parent coordinator an email at vdiaz@uagateway.org. I know you might think that this is the time that you can let go and step away. Finally, your child is in high school, but I cannot stress enough, this is when your kids need you the most, and especially this year with all the transitions that are happening. And a great way to get involved is to be a part of the Parent Association. I believe all the meetings this year will be virtual. So for those of you who are wondering, and they take place on the second Tuesday of every month. That's our SLT, and right afterwards, we usually have a PA meeting. Please get involved, run for an office, president, treasurer, secretary. If you're thinking about it and you want more information, just reach out to Ms. Diaz. And especially for my freshman parents, this is the time to get involved. You're going to be with us for 4 years, so please get involved. Thank you so much for joining us. If you do have any questions that I did not answer in this presentation, do not hesitate to email me at d@uagateway.org. Excited to see all the students back on Monday. Bye, everyone.